Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to another Toon Review with your host Andrew, aka Potty Boy. Now, for this Toon Review, I'm going to be taking a look at a cartoon which some of you might remember, some of you might not. It used to be on I remember it used to be on really quite early on in the mornings when I was a kid. The cartoon I'm going to take a look at today is Denver the Last Dinosaur. Kids and dinosaurs. What a great mix. Let's face it, who didn't like dinosaurs as a kid? I know I certainly did. For those of you old enough, or should I say young enough to remember, there was a bit of a dinosaur boom in the late 80s and early 90s, thanks to the kids' dino movie The Land Before Time. The movie was really popular at the time, and as a result started a big dinosaur craze. Many companies, of course, jumped onto the bandwagon, and one company did just that with Denver the Last Dinosaur. First shown on US TV back in 1988, Denver the Last Dinosaur was produced by World Events Productions in conjunction with French animation company Coleco and ran for 50 episodes across 2 seasons. It was created by a guy named Peter Keith, who proved to be a major influence in the world of animation because he was the first person to introduce Japanese animation to an international audience. His earlier hit show, Voltron, was created by merging 2 Japanese anime shows into one and making it suitable for an international audience. The show itself became very popular at the time and inspired the creators of shows like Transformers and Thundercats to use Japanese animators, and also inspired others to distribute anime shows such as the Dragon Ball franchise worldwide. Put it simply, without Peter Keith, the likes of Dragon Ball, Blue Dragon, and even the Pokemon anime series would still be Japanese exclusives. So yeah, you could say he was pretty important. Now, let's talk about the characters. First off, we have Jeremy, the smartest of all the kids.
That tar stuff happens to have very special properties. It preserved the bones of the animals in the museum for zillions of years.
Next we have Wally, who seems to be worried about something or another.
And what about my friends? And what about my animals? And what about Denver? He can't go to New York. Yeah.
Then there's Shades and Mario, 2 seemingly cool dudes who seem to spend a lot of their time practicing their skateboarding moves and just chilling out in general.
Oh, anybody have a small miracle for sale?
Denver just performed one.
Well, have him perform one for me, or I'm in big trouble. What's wrong, my man? Well, remember that civics report I was supposed to do about the owner of a business?
Yeah?
Well, I didn't remember until today. Uh-oh. And the report's due the day after tomorrow. No problem. Just tell your civics teacher, like I wrote my report, Mr. Ferguson, but the dude went out of business. Get it? You're about to go out of business. Ow!
And then we have the show's main character, Denver, the coolest dino around. Also joining in the gang on the adventures are Heather, Wally's older sister,
Yuck! Dinosaur slobber.
and Casey, the youngest of all the kids.
I already told you, Denver. They're gonna be home late today because of the science fair meeting. They won't let us 5th graders be in it. Yo!
Both of them are always willing to help the boys and Denver in the stickiest of situations.
Can I play?
Play? This is serious business. Not GIRL stuff. Yeah, not girl stuff. You might get hurt.
Okay, you creeps. I'll remember that when you guys need me to fix your lousy dirt bikes again.
Well, okay, sometimes. Now on to the villains. There are many bad guys throughout the show, but many of them only make an appearance in 1 or 2 episodes. However, there are 2 shady characters who make appearances throughout the series. First off, we have Morton Fizback, a greedy entrepreneur who will do anything to get his hands on Denver in order to make a bit of cash.
I don't know exactly what that thing is, but I smell dino dollars.
Then we have Professor Funt, an insane scientist who wants nothing more than having Denver locked up in a cage in his lab and doing all kinds of nasty experiments.
Once I've presented you to my colleagues in the scientific community, I'll be famous, esteemed, and even envied by my peers. They'll erect statues in my honor, dedicate museums to me. My hometown will even have a Bartholomew Fun Street.
Now, out of all the characters who make an appearance on the show, the real star of the show is, of course, Denver himself. He is actually a really cool little character. No matter which episode you watch, he always steals the show. He's very cute, he's funny, he's mad, and just downright cool. And I often consider him smarter than any of the human characters.
Oh, great! What are we gonna do now? Hey, this dino's got brains.
Who's going in?
I will. You goons would probably fall and break the ladder.
That being said, though, the kids themselves are an okay bunch. Some people may find Shades and Mario annoying at times, but overall, yeah, they're pretty okay. My only real gripe is the villains. I mean, okay, I suppose Mr. Fizback is a worthy villain, but most of the time they all just seem to be either complete pushovers, sore losers, or just plain dicks.
Wasting time! You tadpoles act like one of these fake monsters was gonna come to life and grab you! Now take this spoon and eat, and make it look like you're enjoying it! I said eat the cereal!
Hey, some people say that I'm a big show-off just because I'll stand on my head, do jumping jacks, hey, even smash my record collection.
I should also point out that some fans of the original Ninja Turtles cartoon will recognise some of the voices in the show. For example, Shades and Mario are in fact both voiced by Cam Clark, who provided the voice for Michelangelo.
Cowabunga!
And Denver, who doesn't really speak that much, only a few little phrases.
Bite, bite. Oh, well.
He's voiced by Pat Fraley, who is the voice of Krang. Story-wise, the episodes themselves are standalone. There's no multi-part episodes or any continuation. However, the creators of the show did something that very few other cartoon series have done, and that was to open the series with a 45-minute long pilot episode. Now, in my own honest opinion, the pilot episode starts the series off quite nicely, as it uses the extra running time to not only introduce the main characters and explain the backstory, but it also has a nice, simple story to start things up with. Overall, this was a great way to begin the series, and I do in fact consider it to be one of the best episodes. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for some of the other episodes. While some episodes are decent enough, there are some that are, in my opinion, pretty weak. especially during the second season, where it seems to be a case of quantity over quality when compared to the first season. However, the idea of kids having a dinosaur for a friend lends itself very well to a cartoon series, and for the most part it's done quite well. The animation isn't too bad either. It's a very bright, bold and colourful looking show, and the character and background designs are pretty good as well. Now, if there's one thing that I absolutely love about Denver the Last Dinosaur, it's the soundtrack. The theme tune to Denver the Last Dinosaur is one of my favourite cartoon theme songs ever. I absolutely love the theme tune to Denver the Last Dinosaur. It's catchy, it's memorable, it's well written, although some might debate the whole "he's my friend" and a whole lot more thing, but I love it. It's one of my favourite cartoon theme songs ever, and I absolutely love it. In fact, it's so good that even the main characters sing it from time to time.
Denver, the last dinosaur.
He means cash and a whole lot more.
And as for the rest of the soundtrack, hey, it's pretty good as well. In fact, I think it's really good. It suits the show perfectly. And in fact, it's so good, there's even an official soundtrack album available to download from iTunes and Amazon. So what do I think of Denver the Last Dinosaur? Well, if you're getting a bit tired of some of the more serious cartoons and want something cute, charming and just good fun, or if you've got kids who are into dinosaurs and you want them to watch something good old-fashioned cartoon fun, then I highly recommend you check out this series. It's not without its problems, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but overall I find Denver to be an enjoyable slice of entertainment, and a rather underrated cartoon at that. And the good thing is that you can watch the show right now on Hulu, which is the only place where I can find all of the episodes in their entirety. If you like cartoons of this sort of calibre, then Denver the Last Dinosaur is a cartoon well worth checking out.
I just wanted to thank you guys again, and I have a little something for Denver.
Eh?
Yeah, for the greatest performer in the universe!
Whoa! Oh, yeah.
And that, my friends, is the end of my review of Denver the Last Dinosaur. Yeah, it's a pretty good show, worth checking out. And it just so happens to be, at the time of recording this, it's Denver's 26th birthday. So, happy birthday, Denver. Right, so before I go, I'm going to leave you with two clips. The first clip I'm going to leave you is with the Italian intro to the cartoon. Because whereas all the other foreign language versions just dubbed over the original English theme tune, the Italians decided to go ahead and do their own one. And the second clip I'm going to leave you with is a clip from Australian Idol. Now, this is no joke. Someone actually went on and did this, and I thought, I got to share it with you all. Anyway, that's enough for me. That's enough for me waffling on. I shall be back again soon with another tune review, hopefully. And in the meantime, goodbye for now.
Happy birthday, Denver! Me? Oh, thanks.
Happy birthday, my man!
What the?
Ti voglio bene Denver, cucciolotto verde senza età. Ti voglio bene Denver, ma da dove vieni non si sa. Ti voglio bene Denver, quando voli con il mio skateboard. Ti voglio bene Denver, sei il mio dinosauro lo so. Per favore ora Denver dai non crescere più, altrimenti qui ci serve una gru. Ti voglio bene Denver, cucciolotto verde senza età. Ti voglio bene Denver, corri insieme a noi per la città, tutti pronti che adesso si va. Denver, agli occhiali e il nasone lì su Denver.
Come possiamo?
Denver, come parli lo sai solo tu Denver. Denver, agli occhiali e il nasone lì su Denver.
Per tutti i posti.
Denver, per favore non crescere più Denver. Denver, agli occhiali e il nasone lì su Denver.
At all, a performer rocks up from, of all places, the Stone Age. Meet 24,578-year-old Denver, the last dinosaur.
What's your name?
Denver.
Denver.
Yeah, it's an old cartoon from the 80s, which hopefully many people remember watching. Like me.
Is that laugh
Like
yours
me.
or the dinosaurs? Okay, what are you going to sing for us?
That's Denver, the last dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. He's Denver, the last dinosaur. He shows me the world I never saw before.
What's Jurassic Mark think of Denver the dinosaur?
Oh, mate, you are definitely the gooniest goo-goo we have had in 4 years.
Why don't you change the lyrics a little bit to Holden the last dinosaur?
He's Holden, the last dinosaur. He's older than me and it far before.
Let's push him over.
Denver, that's not very G-rated. So the ancient relic didn't get through.